So the first thing we're going to determine is the measurement that is required for this skirt and also how much fabric we need to fold in. So the first measurement you need will be your waist circumference, and the second one will be the length of your skirt. You know the skirt is like an high-low type of skirt. So the longest length is what you need for this skirt. So in my own case, I'm working with a little girl's skirt, but the system of cutting this skirt is the same for both adults and children. But I'm using a child's measurement so that I'm able to capture everything I'm doing in this one video. So for the waist I'm working with, it is 20 inches, and the length of skirt I'm working with, that's the long side of the skirt, is going to be 9 inches, right? So the next thing we need to determine is the radius of the skirt. That's the waist of your skirt. And how we're going to go about it is we're going to divide your waist, whatever your own waist is, you divide it by 6.28. This works for both adults and children. So this is the way to determine the radius of a circle skirt, basically. So if you divide 20 by 6.28, it will give you about 3.1 thereabout. So I'm going to just use 3 inches. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add the value of your own radius, whatever your own result is. You're going to add it to the length of your skirt plus 9 inches. That will be 12 inches. Because of this type of circle skirt we're working with, you're going to also multiply this result by 2, right? So that will leave us at 24 inches. You understand why I'm multiplying this result by 2 when I'm going on. So now what that means is the fabric I need to fold must be 24 by 24 inches. Whatever this result is what you are going to cut out like a square shape fabric. So in my own case is 24 inches. So I'm going to cut out a fabric that is 24 by 24 inches. Now I'm going to bring my fabric and I'm going to use each of these measurements to cut our skirt. So now this is the fabric I'm working with. Let me show you. So this is a little over 24 inches. So if I measure all the 4 corners, I'll have at least 24 inches. This is also about 20, this is like 25 inches. This is the third corner, a little over 25 inches. I just did that so that I have a little extra fabric that I'm working with. But I could also as well cut 24 by 24. So this is what I have. So now I'm going to fold my fabric into 4. The skirt is a circle skirt, and that's why we're folding into 4. So this is folded once, and I'm going to fold again. Can you see? So this is me folding it in 4 places. So let me just go over that again. So you fold first of all this way. This is 1, and then you fold again, just like you fold for circle skirts. Can you see this? So I need this to be this way. So all my raw edges are in this position. Can you see? My raw edges are on this side. My folded edges are on this side. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to connect a diagonal line that connects the tip of your fabric here to this tip here. You're going to connect a diagonal line. You understand why I am doing that in a bit. Ensure that yours is straight. I'm working with a Duchess fabric. It's very slippery, and I'm not holding it onto any heavy fabric, and I also didn't pin it. That's why you can see this little spill here. Just ensure you do yours as accurately as possible. So now that I have done this, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my radius. You know my own radius is 3 inches. Whatever yours is, you're going to apply it. Let me show you how I'm going to apply mine. So I'll put my tape rule at this tip here, and then I'll start marking my 3 inches. This is my 3 inches here. This is 3 inches here. While I'm holding the tape down at the tip here, I'll move my tape rule and mark my 3 inches. I'll come here and continue. I'll mark my 3 inches and also mark my 3 inches here. So this way I've marked the radius of my skirt. Now that this is done, from here, from where we marked this radius, wherever your radius ends, you're going to mark the longest portion of your skirt. So in my own case, remember that I'm working with 9 inches. Whatever yours is, you go ahead and mark it. Can you see? So this is where I have my 9 inches. You can decide here to now add your 1 inch hemming allowance, or you can use half inches depending on the kind of finishing you are looking at. So here I'm going to mark 1 inch for sewing allowance, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to now do is from this tip here, I'm going to measure from where your fabric ends. If yours is straight though, that's why it's very important that your square is very accurate, right? So I'm going to assume this is the tip of my fabric because this place is sort of straight. So I'm going to come here and measure whatever from here to this point that I marked. This sewing allowance. This is about 2.25. It's not up to 2.5, 2.25. So I'm going to come up here and mark the same 2.25. What I'm basically doing is trying to draw a straight line. You can outrightly just go from here and draw a straight line if you're sure that it's going to be straight. But I'm measuring this way just so that I'm sure that I have the same thing and I'm able to draw out a straight line. I hope you get that. So I'm going to come here and mark my 2.25 here. Can you see this? And this way, I can connect this point to this point and I'll have my straight line. That's basically what I'm trying to adjust all this long journey. I just want to be able to achieve a straight line because it's very important for all your sides to align properly. So here is the first line drawn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the distance from here to this point. So for me, it's about 6.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and mark downwards 6.5 inches as well. Whatever the distance between this place and this place is, you're going to also mark it here. So mine is 6.5. So I'm going to come here and mark 6.5. So what I'm basically doing is I'm ensuring that this angle and this angle matches properly. So now that I've marked my 6.5, I'm going to connect it here. So everything I'm doing is just so that I can achieve a straight line. I'm doing this for beginner's sake. If you're not a beginner, you're a pro, you can just go ahead after marking this place. Just draw out straight line to connect this point, and that is basically all. So you draw this out. So this way, you have like a kite shape, right? And then you can cut out your skirt. We're basically done. It is that simple. So let me cut this out and show you what my skirt looks like. When you do it this way, this angle will be longer than here. Remember that when I measure from here to here was 6.5, but what I have here is 10 inches. and our skirt is ready. So if I pull my skirt like this, can you see? Can you see this? So I have my skirt all done. And there you have it. You can also pull this way. Can you see? You can switch your angles. So now that we have this, we're going to fold our skirt back like this so that we can slash open the side that our zipper is going to be, right? But before you do that, ensure that you pull your skirt back like this. And then you can slash open like this. And then you have your skirt. We're basically done with everything. Thank you all for watching this episode. Do well to like, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, drop your questions and comments in the chat box, share this video with your friends because it might be useful to someone out there, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.